Okay, second assessment on ratios and proportions. Okay, 2 over 3 equals x over 21. Now, x is not being operated on top, okay? It's being divided, but there's no adding, subtracting, or multiplying with it. So I cross multiply and divide. So 2 times 21 divided by 3 is 14. So x equals 14. Okay, next problem, solve for x. Now here you got two x's. So I need to know what I can't multiply and divide. So my second strategy is A, B, C, and D. So use your factors on each side. And A and B go together and C and D go together. So A is 10 and B is 2x minus 3. I'm going to put that as plus negative 3 when I distribute because those can't be added. Meanwhile, C is x, 1x, and D is 17. So on this side, I have two non-like terms, so I use the distributive property. 10 times 2x is 20x, and 10 times negative 3 is negative 30. Over here, we just got 17 times 1x, and that's 17x. Now, the x's are on opposite sides, so I need to do the balance. Now, I would get rid of that one, but then there'll be nothing over there. So let's do the 20x. Let's subtract 20x, get rid of it, and then subtract it from 17x. So negative 30 equals negative 3x, and I divide by negative 3, and I get my answer. X is equal to 10. Okay. Percent, there's two ways you can do it. What number is 30% of 55? Most people are preferring this. So percent over 100%, then is of. So my percent's 30, and after of it's 55. So I don't know this number, so I'm going to multiply and divide. So I take 30 times 55 divided by 100. That's 16.5. Now, if you prefer the other way, what number means x, is means equals 30%. You need to make that 0.3 and then times 55 and multiply, you get 16.5. Same, they both work. Okay, next one. 117 is 78% of what number? So percent 100% is of. So I have 78. After the word of, I see what. So this is my x. And then 117 goes here. So I cross multiply 100 times 117 divided by 78, and I get 150. Now, if you prefer the other way, 117 is means equals 0.78, of means times, and then what number? So I can't multiply, divide both sides by 0.78, and what do you know? I get 150. Okay, what percent of 60 is 18? So percent, 100%, and then is and of. So the percent here is unknown, so that's x, and after of I see 60, and then 18. So I can multiply and divide. 100 times 18 divided by 60 is 30. So x equals 30%, because we don't know that. Now, what percent means x, of means times 60 equals 18. So I divide by 60, and I get 0.3, but it's asking for the percent. Well, that'd be 30%. You can move the decimal twice to the right, or times 100, or just know it. It's up to you. Okay, find the unknown side. The triangles are similar, so I'm going to use proportions. X is to 18 what 4 is to 9. Okay, so I cross multiply and divide. 18 times 4 is 72, divided by 9 is 8, so x is 8. It's 8 units long. Okay, number 7. Convert 80 pounds to kilograms. 1 kilogram equals 2.2 pounds. So I'm going to use ratios here, and I know that 1 kilogram is equal to 2.2 pounds. Now those units need to be in the same order over here. So I have 80 pounds, and I'm trying to convert 2 kilograms. So that's x, and I multiply and divide. 1 times 80 is 80, so 80 divided by 2.2, 36.36. Okay, when you're doing units of measurement, you can have decimals, round them to the nearest hundredth. Okay, and that's how many kilograms 80 pounds is. Okay, now to the story problems. I can type 3 pages of a paper in 35 minutes. How long will it take me to type a 15-page paper? So I have pages and minutes as the units, and X is the minutes, Y is the pages. Times always X, so it's per minute. And the problem did not give me the per minute. Now I probably might not need to figure that out. So it's just one person. So minutes and pages. And the ratio I'm given, I know it takes 35 minutes to do 3 pages. Now, if I didn't type for any minutes, I'm not going to get any pages typed. So that means I can use proportions. Okay, there's only one person, so you don't need to add another ratio. You want to put your time in the denominator. Get used to doing that. And the ratio I'm given is 35 minutes to do 3 pages. Now, 15 pages is how much we have to do in X minutes. So I cross multiply. 35 times 15 divided by 3, and I got 175. Okay, so 175 minutes. Okay, number 9. I can type 7 pages of a paper in 2 hours. My friend can type 7 pages in 3 hours. How long will it take us to type a 25-page paper working together? So I have pages and I have hours. X is hours, Y is pages. So per hour. Pages per hour. Now they do not tell me the pages per hour. Now I have 2 people here, so I'm going to make 2 tables. So hours first. You got to put the X goes first. Now I know one person can do 2 hours, 7 pages. Okay. Well, if they didn't do any hours, they'd have no pages. And my other person here can do 3 hours and 7 pages. Well, that means it's proportional. Now, I'm going to have to add another fraction here because there are two of us working. Okay, so I put the time in the denominator, and I put the pages in the numerator. Okay, so one rate I know is 7 pages in 2 hours. Another one I know is 3 hours, 7 pages. Now, we have to type 25 pages. So it's 25 over X. And I add those two together, 7 over 2 plus 7 over 3. That's a mixed number. I don't want that, so I go second ABC equals 35 over 6. 3 buttons, second ABC equals. And over here is 25 over X, so I cross multiply and divide. 6 times 25 divided by 35 is 4.2, which is hours, so I'll put 4.28, so I'll put 4.29 hours. And you can round that however. Okay, number 10. 1/8 of the class wore red for Spirit Day. There are 160 students in this school. How many wore red for Spirit Day? Now, a fraction is part over whole. Okay, so PW. And what defines the part is those that wore red. Okay, let's talk about the 160. Does it say anything about them wearing red? No, so it doesn't go here. It would go here, and I have to find how many wore red, so X. Cross multiply and divide. 1 times 160 divided by 8, and you get 20. Okay. Number 11, 20% of my paycheck was spent on rent. If I spent $500 on rent, how much is in my paycheck? So, there are 2 ways you can do this. You can use your proportions. Now, there's nothing that indicates that I need to change the percent, so I use 20. So if I'm using the percent from the problem, it's a part whole. So the part is defined by spent on rent. Okay. Now let's look at the 500. It says right there it was spent on rent. So 500 belongs here, and I need to find the whole. So 100 times 500 divided by 20 is $2,500. Okay, $2,500. Now, if you like the other way, so it's the whole or the percent, doesn't matter, it goes equals the part, and the part is the ones that was spent on rent. Okay. So I know my percent's 20, so 0.2. My whole, that $500 was the part spent on rent, and I got to find the whole. So I would divide both sides by 0.2, and 500 divided by 0.2 is 2,500. Okay, number 12. A person bench press has increased 15%. That's a 15, sorry about the marker. Over the past year. If he was benching 305 when the year started, what can he bench press now? Okay, there's two ways we can go about it. But we want to change the percent because we have the increased highlighted. So I take 100 plus 15, and that's 115. So I want to use that as my percentage. And since I have changed the percentage, it's not a part whole, it's a new original. And it says 305 is the original. Okay, so I need to find the new. So I take 115 times 305 divided by 100, and that's 350.75. It's a pound, so you can have 0.75. Okay, if you prefer the other method, it's the original multiplied by our percent equals our new. So my percent needs to be changed to 115, so that'd be 1.15. And 305 is the original, which means I would find the new by multiplying. So that's 350.75. Okay, now on the back side. Two cars travel for the same amount of time. One car travels an average speed of 80 miles per hour, while the other car travels at an average speed of 67 miles per hour. If the faster car traveled 104 miles further than the slower car, what distance did they each actually travel? So we're talking about speed here. Okay. So put 1 and 2, so you got your speed, and if you're not going to need it, but that's distance divided by time. You have your distance, not going to need it, but that's speed multiplied by time. And you have your time, and you will need this, that's distance divided by speed. So my speeds I know we got 80 and 67. I can cross those out then. Distance is just the miles. It's 104 miles, but after that it says further. So I'm going to call my slower car X and the other one X plus 104. Okay, time I have no idea. I just know that they're equal, okay, because it's the same amount of time. So I need to make my ratio with distance over speed. So the distance is X plus 104 and the speed is 80. The distance is X, the speed is 67. So I set those equal to each other because I know that the times are equal. And I need to use my ABCD. Okay, can't just multiply and divide with these problems. You got two X's, never going to work. So AB, CD. So A is X plus 104. I'm going to put a 1 in front. Those are not like terms, and that will be multiplied by 67. Then over here we have X and 80. These aren't like terms, so I'm going to distribute 67 to each. 67X. 67 multiplied by 104 is 6,968. And on the other side, it's just X times 80. That's 80X. It's not 80. You got to put your variables right. The X's are on opposite sides, so it's a balance. Okay. So I would want to subtract 67X. That gives me 6,968 equals 13x. You just got to hold it together here and know your procedure. Okay, so 6,968 divided by 13 is 536. So that traveled 536 miles. And the other one went 104 more. So if you add 104 to that, that's 640.